Jenny's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making pozole. It's the perfect weather. It's a little chilly and I think pozole is just going to hit the spot. I'm going to be making pozole rojo and I love to use chile guajillo, but if you can't find the chile guajillo, you can definitely use chile California and even chile New Mexico, or you can even mix them. Whatever I have in my house, that's what I use. I'm only going to be using half of this big roast, which is pork butt roast, and lots of pata. All right, let's take it to the pot. Always make sure that you cook the pata first because that's what takes the most. All right, let's put it into the pot. As you can see, I already have my water boiling or about to boil, and this is what I like to do. I like to cook my pata for at least 30 minutes before I even add the pork. And this is a golden rule when you're making pozole. I like to add a whole head of garlic, split in half. Do not worry about peeling that. Believe me, it just helps it stay in its place and it's not gonna kill you. A head of onion, and since I didn't have the white onion, it's okay to use what you have in your pantry. It's really not a big difference. All right, so now let's put it into the pot. Right there. Hoja de laurel, that's bay leaf, and some salt. And let's go cut the roast in small pieces.
1, 2, 3.
All right, these are the pieces that I want. All right, I'm almost done cutting half of the roast, and this is as much as I was able to get out. So I'm just cutting them a little bit smaller, kind of like this size is what I'm looking for, just because I'm not making that much and I want this to be quick. So let's take it to the pot. As you can see, this has been cooking for 30 minutes already. It looks a little bit more tender now, but it still has a long way to go. So now I'm just gonna add the roast. And this is just gonna be all pork pozole. I'm not gonna be adding any chicken at all. All right, so now I'm gonna be adding my can of hominy, and Tisdale is the one that I like, especially the one that says Mexican style. That's my favorite overall. If you're gonna be using canned, this is the best one, or just use the fresh one, but it's gonna take a long time. All right, let's crack this open. Also, you do not want to add the liquid inside your caldo. You want to drain all of that out. All right, let me do that. You want to immediately add the hominy when you add the rest of the pork. And then you want to top it off with water to make sure that all the meat is completely covered. And this is why I like to start with a little bit of water, just to make sure. This gives me an idea of how much water to add next. All right, as you can see, it's almost covered, but I'm gonna be adding a whole liter or a little bit more than that just to make sure that the meat is covered. All right, give it a good mix to make sure that everything's well incorporated in there. Now let's cover and we're gonna let it cook for an hour and a half. Now let's peel all the chiles. I know this works better on TikTok than on YouTube, but that's exactly what I do. So the only thing you're going to be doing is just removing all the stems and the seeds. And if you have a better way that your grandma showed you, I mean, I would like to know. So I see a lot of people cutting them with scissors, but I honestly don't see the point of that. I mean, you still have to open them and de-seed them. Make sure that they're really, really cleaned well. All right, let's go take the chiles to hydrate. This has been cooking already for an hour, and I'm just gonna hydrate my chiles on top of this broth since the broth is gonna be red anyway. All right, this is gonna save me so much time. All right, the chiles have been hydrating for 8 minutes because this broth is super hot. I mean, if you want to leave it hydrating for less time, it's completely okay, as long as you're able to blend all the chiles. All right, let me get all of this out. And you see the onion that was cooked in there? All the little pieces of garlic, just throw it in there. All right, now let's go and blend all of this. All right, I'm gonna show you the cooked onion that was cooking in the broth. We're not gonna throw it away. So we're gonna use it, and you see the garlic too that was cooked in the broth. Well, this one we just want to squeeze it all out. Just be careful though, because that is very, very hot. So just however you can squeeze them out, just get them out. So I'm gonna hit them like this, or get a rag and just squeeze it out. But I was able to get them all just like that. And of course, just take all of this little peel from the blender. You do not need those. Okay, now I'm gonna add more garlic because I want the taste of the fresh garlic. All right, like I already showed you, we're gonna be La mosca yo creo que es más famosa que yo. All right, guys, so I was telling you, do not throw away your cooked garlic and the onion that I cooked in the broth, but we also want to add that fresh taste of the garlic and the onion. So I'm just going to be using half, and in this case I am going to peel the first layer. It's just easier, you throw it in there, and I'm not going to be using all of the garlic right now. Woo, that one's a live one. Okay, so I'm just going to be using 3 just to get that freshness taste of garlic in the sauce that is also going to be cooked in the broth. All right, so let's peel these. Y esta mosca nada más quiere salir también. Okay, again, this is the fastest way that I peel my garlic, and I do not stress about crushing them because they're gonna be blended. No me los voy a comer enteros, right? So just smash the heck out of it and make your life easier. Ahí está. All right, let's see. Woo, that onion is strong. Dicen que si lloras es porque eres celosa. So let's ask my husband that question in the next video. All right, let's clean this up and let's get this blended. Oh yeah. So now let's add some chicken bouillon. And you guys already know I don't use measuring spoons. I just measure with my heart. So there we go. That's probably 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons, depending how salty you want it. I'm gonna leave it just like that, and then at the end I like to taste it and I just adjust the salt. All right, let's blend this. Let's add some water. Let me go get some water. We're gonna add some pimienta entera, that is whole pepper. We're gonna add a little bit of oregano, and that is roughly a hefty spoonful of oregano. Okay, so now let's add some water. Ooh, okay. And let's blend. And I added more water, and I could easily have gotten the broth, but my broth is a little dry. So in this case, when I need more juice, more water to my broth, I add more water. All right? But always, if you have extra broth, by all means, use the broth. Try to keep all the flavors together. All right, I need my lid. All right, the lid is on. And we blend. All right, I blended this for 30 seconds. And look at this. With the Vitamix, you do not need to strain. That's why I love this blender. So now we're transferring this into here. You see how low my broth is? So I'm gonna add all of this. Beautiful. I'm gonna add this again. I'm gonna have another pitcher. I'm gonna add the pitcher full of water, and I'm gonna add it into the broth as well because I need that caldito. All right, so I fill this up with water, and then I'm just gonna add it to the pot. And it's up to you how much broth you want, but I think this is fine for me. All right, so now that we added the chilito, we're gonna let it cook for another 30 minutes so all the flavors can mend together. All right, let's go chop all the veggies. All right, guys, so now we're gonna chop all the veggies. I'm gonna start with the repollo, which is col, or I don't know. Huh?
It's cabbage.
It's repollo. So like my son is saying it's cabbage, but I was trying to find another word in Spanish. We call it col, we call it repollo. It's however you guys know it. So now we're just gonna finely chop or dice or shred. Yeah, shred. And this is how I like to shred it. It's really, really fine. You kind of just roll it back and forth, just like that. And it's so easy and it's so fast. Don't ever buy the pre-packaged because it tastes different, right? All right, let me keep on chopping. Now we're gonna chop some rábanos. You could get fancy with these, but I'm just gonna round them up. So it's been exactly almost 2 hours and this is ready. Look how pretty. This has to be super tender and it's ready to serve. All right, let me get a bowl. All right, now let's serve. Oh my God, this smells so good already. Look at this. Yo me voy a querer 2 patas for me. Actually, that's always what I get. Just 2 patas. A little bit of meat. And let's see. Can you guys believe my husband doesn't like granos? He doesn't like the maíz. I do, just a little bit. All right, more caldo for me. All right, oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat this. Let's add some col, a little bit of onion. Y no tengo cebolla blanca para que no empiecen. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of radishes, los rabanitos. Wait, let me separate these. There we go. And some limon. Let me get a little juicy lemon over here. Ay, ya se me hizo agua la boca. Y el chile de aceite, ¿dónde está el chile de aceite? Of course, that is something that we can't leave out. Si no tienen chile de aceite, le pueden echar Tapatío, Valentina, lo que ustedes quieran. But chile de aceite is what I recommend. And if you guys want to know how to make my chile de aceite, go follow this link. All right? Ahora sí, una cucharita, una cucharita.
1, 2, 3.
All right, I have my spoon and I like to mix the chile de aceite and the rest of my toppings. También le pueden echar cilantro si quieren. Mucha gente le echa hasta jitomate. A lot of people like to add cilantro, tomato. It's your pozole, it's your bowl. You add whatever you want. Y listo! So don't forget to give me that subscribe and that like here on my YouTube. And if you guys want to go for shorter videos, go to my TikTok. It's only 60 seconds. That's under Jenny Martinez. Or go to my Happy Bellies by Jenny and you're gonna get a little bit more than just recipes. You're gonna see my lifestyle, my family. And of course, I wanna thank you all for always giving me so much love. Bye! So good.